The child tax credit is worth up to $2,200 per child, but a surprising number of families either miss it, leave the refundable part on the table, or get tripped up by one birthday rule. So here's exactly who qualifies, how much you actually get, and how to make sure none of it slips away. Let's break it down. First, what it actually is. The child tax credit is a credit, not a deduction. That distinction is everything. A deduction lowers the income you're taxed on. A credit comes straight off your tax bill, dollar for dollar. So up to $2,200 per qualifying child under 17 comes directly off what you owe. Let me show you why that matters. A $2,200 deduction, for a typical family, might save you a few $100s in tax. A $2,200 credit saves you the full $2,200. Same number, wildly different value. The child tax credit is one of the most powerful credits that catches people every year. The child has to be under 17 at the end of the year. Not under 18, under 17. The year your child turns 17, they no longer qualify for the full child tax credit, even if they were 16 for most of it. That one birthday can change your refund. Age is just one test. To be your qualifying child, they also have to be related to you, your child, stepchild, foster child, sibling, or a descendant of those. They have to have lived with you more than half the year, not have provided more than half of their own support, and be claimed as your dependent. Most families clear these easily, but they all have to be true. And here's the one that disqualifies people outright. The child must have a valid Social Security number, issued before your tax return's due date. No qualifying Social Security number, no child tax credit. There's no working around it. If you're waiting on an SSN, that timing can matter for the whole credit. And this is exactly where it's calculated, straight from the IRS. This is Schedule 8812, the form for the child tax credit. Line 5 says it plainly. Multiply your number of qualifying children by $2,200. That's the starting amount, right there on the form, before income limits are applied. Now, do you make too much? Probably not. The full credit is available until your income passes $200,000 if you're single, or $400,000 if you're married filing jointly. Above those lines, it phases out slowly, $50 for every $1,000 over. The vast majority of families are well under the limit and get the full amount. Here's the part families leave on the table the most. Even if you owe little or no income tax, a big chunk of the credit can still come back to you as a refund. It's called the Additional Child Tax Credit, and it's worth up to roughly $1,700 per child, paid out as cash even when your tax bill is zero. How does that refundable part work? It's tied to your earnings. You generally need at least $2,500 of earned income, and the refundable amount is 15% of what you earned above that, up to the per-child cap. So the more you worked, the more of the credit can come back, but you have to have earned income to unlock it. What about older kids and other dependents? There's a separate credit for them. The credit for other dependents, worth $500. It covers dependents who don't qualify for the child tax credit, a 17 or 18-year-old, a college student you support, or even a parent who depends on you. It's non-refundable, but it's real money. And these stack within a household. A family with a young child and a teenager in college might claim $2,200 for the little one and $500 for the older dependent on the same return. So don't stop counting at your under 17 kids. Every dependent is worth checking. Let's make it concrete. Example 1. A married couple with 2 children under 17, earning $90,000. They're far under the income limit, so they get the full credit on both kids. That's 2 times $2,200 or $4,400, coming straight off their tax bill. Now picture that as a deduction instead. A $4,400 deduction, in their bracket, would save them maybe $500. As a credit, it saves the entire $4,400. Same headline number, almost 9 times the value. That's the whole reason credits matter more than deductions, and we've got a full video on that. Example 2. A single parent with 1 child, earning $18,000. After the standard deduction, they owe basically no income tax, so it would seem like the credit does nothing. But the refundable part kicks in. 15% of their earnings over $2,500 is about $2,300, capped at $1,700. So $1,700 comes back as a refund. So that parent walks away with $1,700 they might have assumed they weren't entitled to. But here's the catch that costs people. The refundable credit only comes if you file a return to claim it. No return, no refund. Low income is exactly when filing pays off the most. One timing note, so you're not surprised. By law, The IRS cannot release a refund that includes the child tax credit's refundable part until mid-February, even if you file in January. It's an anti-fraud rule. So if you claim it, expect your refund a little later than usual. It's normal, not a problem. Watch out for the common mistakes. Assuming you earn too much, the limits are high. Forgetting the refundable part when you owe no tax. The under 17 birthday. A missing social security number. And both parents trying to claim the same child. Only one can, in a given year. On that last one, if you're divorced or separated, only one parent claims the child each year. By default, it's the custodial parent, the one the child lived with most. The other parent can only claim the credit if the custodial parent formally releases it using Form 8332. Sort that out in advance so two returns don't collide. So here's your system. Confirm each child is under 17 with a valid social security number. Check that your income is under the limit. It usually is. File Schedule 8812 to claim the credit. And if you owe little or no tax, still file, so the refundable part comes back to you. Don't leave your kid's credit on the table. Quick recap. The child tax credit is up to $2,200 per child under 17, straight off your tax. Most families are under the income limit. Up to $1,700 per child is refundable even at zero tax. Older dependents can bring $500, and you have to file to get any of it. One quick note on who makes this. The tax breakdown is prepared by a tax accountant with over 15 years of public accounting experience, so every figure here is checked against the IRS sources. It's always educational, never advice for your specific situation. Bottom line, the child tax credit is one of the biggest breaks a family gets, but only if you claim every piece of it. Check the ages, the numbers, and the income limit, and file even when you owe nothing. Do that, and you keep thousands that too many families miss. This is general education, not tax advice, so check with a pro about your situation. Subscribe to the Tax Breakdown for simple tax-saving tips before you file.